was halfway through my night shift when my phone buzzed. A notification. My sister's tag. I opened it without thinking, expecting something ordinary. But my hand froze midair. There they were. My parents, laughing under a white beach umbrella, their skin glowing in sunlight that wasn't supposed to exist for them this week. Between them stood Bella, my sister. My replacement, the photo caption read, "Family time heals everything. Family time." Without me, I zoomed in, my thumb trembling. The resort wristband. The same shade of blue I'd paid for last summer when I took Bella there for her birthday because Mom said she needed a break. My chest tightened. I called my mom. Straight to voicemail, Dad too. Then Bella. She answered with that lazy, sweet voice she uses when she's lying. Aaron. Hey, what's up? Where are you? Home. Why? Don't lie to me. Silence. A seagull cried faintly through the line. Who told you? She whispered. No one. You posted it yourself. She sighed, almost annoyed. They just needed a quiet trip. You wouldn't have liked it. My throat burned. You mean I wouldn't have fit in? She didn't deny it. When the call ended, I stared at my reflection in the phone screen, cracked from my grip. My face looked like a stranger's. Pale, tired, forgotten. I thought about all the times I said no to friends because Mom needed me to help around the house. The nights I worked double shifts to buy Bella her college books. And now they didn't even think I deserved to be there. The next morning, I sat at my small kitchen table, a packed bag beside me. I could still hear my mother's voice in my head. You're too serious, Aaron, always so emotional. Maybe she was right. Maybe I cared too much, my laptop screen glowed. I typed in the name of the resort. Same one, same rooms. Price is higher now. My hand hovered over the Book Now button. I hesitated. What would I even say if I showed up? Would they laugh? Pretend it was a misunderstanding? Then I saw another photo. Bella posted again. This time she was holding Mom's hand. Dad's arm around her. The caption read, couldn't imagine a better getaway with my favorite people. Favorite. My eyes stung. I hit book. As the confirmation email popped up, I felt something strange. Not anger anymore. Not even sadness. Just a quiet certainty. They wanted alone time. Fine. I'd give them something to remember. The wind outside rattled the window, and for the first time in years, I didn't feel small. I felt ready. I checked the flight time. 2 hours. As I zipped my bag, I whispered to the empty apartment, let's see what family really means. The salt in the air burned my throat as I stepped onto the resort's white stone path. Everything looked the same. The sound of waves, the scent of coconut oil, the chatter of people on vacation, only I wasn't here to relax. I saw them before they saw me. My family, my parents by the pool, drinks in hand, Bella between them, laughing like a child who'd never known consequence. My chest tightened. I walked closer, every step heavier than the last. Mom noticed first. Her smile froze. Dad looked down into his glass. Bella turned and waved all sunshine. Aaron, wow, what are you doing here? I stopped just short of their table. Nice to see you two. Mom's voice was calm but sharp. You shouldn't have come. We needed space. Space from me or space for her? I pointed at Bella. You said you wanted alone time, but you're here celebrating. Dad sighed. Son, not now. We're in public, exactly. You didn't want me here because I'd ruin the photo, right? Bella rolled her eyes. Stop acting like a victim. You're always so dramatic. I felt the heat rise in my face. I worked double shifts to pay for your trip last year. And this is how you repay me? Mom's tone cut through the air. Lower your voice. No. I'm done lowering it. I could feel eyes turning toward us, whispers from nearby tables. A waiter approached, nervous. Sir, please. You can't make a scene here, I turned to him. I'm not the one lying to my family. Someone complained, he said softly. Please step aside. My parents stayed silent. My mother's eyes pleaded, not with guilt, but embarrassment. That hurt more than anything. I backed away, the weight of humiliation crushing my chest. Near the lobby, I stopped and tried to catch my breath. That's when I heard a quiet voice behind me. You shouldn't let them see you like this. I turned. A young woman stood there with a camera around her neck. Brown eyes, windblown hair, the resort uniform clinging to her shoulder. "Who are you?" I asked. "Maya, resort photographer." She tilted her head. "I know who you are, though." "Aaron, right?" I frowned. "Do I know you?" "Not really. But I know your sister." My pulse quickened. "What do you mean?" She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "She's been here before. With someone else." I stared at her, trying to read her face. "What are you talking about?"
With who?
Maya's eyes flickered toward the pool where Bella still laughed with my parents, pretending everything was perfect. "Not here," she whispered. "Just trust me. You don't know the full story." "Why should I trust a stranger?" She met my eyes. "Because she planned this." My heart sank. "Planned what?" Maya looked away, her camera clicking once, the shutter sound slicing through the heavy silence. "I'll show you," she said. "But not here." I turned back toward my family, their laughter echoing against the sound of waves. For the first time, I realized this wasn't just about favoritism. It was something darker. Maya led me through the narrow path behind the resort cafe, where the air smelled of salt and roasted coffee. She stopped under a palm tree, checked over her shoulder, and unlocked her camera. "I shouldn't be showing you this," she said quietly. "But you deserve to know." I crossed my arms. "Know what exactly? That my sister's a liar?" "I already figured that out." Maya looked up at me, her eyes steady. "It's not just lying. It's who she's lying for." She handed me her camera. The screen lit up with a series of photos. Last month's event. Labeled "Private Guests Only." My heart pounded. Bella, in the same green dress she wore today, smiling, her hand resting on the chest of a man twice her age. A man I recognized from the resort's posters on the owner, Raiden Holt. I felt my stomach twist. "This can't be real." "It is," Maya said. "He's been bringing her here for months. They say she's his niece. But look at those photos. Does that look like family to you?" The images blurred as my grip tightened. I scrolled faster, breath shaking. Bella by the bar. Bella walking into his villa. My sister. The perfect daughter. I handed the camera back. "Why are you showing me this?" "Because you're the only one who doesn't know what's really happening," she said. "Your parents do. Everyone here knows." I stared at the waves crashing beyond the pool deck. The sound was deafening. So my family lied. Again. Maya touched my arm gently. "I'm sorry, Aaron." Her voice was soft, almost protective. For a second, I wanted to believe her. But anger rose again, bitter and hot. "If this is true, why tell me now? What do you get out of this?" She held my gaze. Maybe I hate seeing good people humiliated. Before I could answer, a familiar voice sliced through the air. "Aaron." Bella stood a few steps away, her arms crossed, her tone sharp. "What are you doing?" I took a step toward her. "Why don't you tell me? How long have you been coming here?" Her eyes darted to Maya, then back to me. "Don't start. You're embarrassing yourself. You lied to me. You lied to Mom and Dad." She laughed once, cold and practiced. "You think you're better because you work hard? You're just jealous." "You've always been jealous." I clenched my fists. "Jealous of what? Your lies? Your sugar-coated life?" Her smile faltered. For the first time, I saw fear flicker behind her eyes. Then she straightened. "Stay out of it, Aaron. You have no idea what's going on." I took a step closer. "Then make me understand." She hesitated, then whispered, "You don't want to." And she walked away, heels clicking against the stone. Maya exhaled beside me. "She's scared." "Of what?" I asked. Maya looked toward the ocean, her voice low. "Not what. Who?" That night, I lay in my room, the resort lights flickering through the curtain. The sound of waves should have been calming, but it wasn't. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, an unknown number. "One message, you're not supposed to be here." The note slid under my door just after midnight. I stared at it for a long time before picking it up. The paper smelled faintly of perfume and salt. A single line written in black ink, "Leave before you regret it." I locked the door and pressed my back against it, my pulse hammering in my throat. Every creak in the hallway felt like footsteps. Every gust of wind against the window felt like someone watching. I called Maya. She picked up on the second ring. "Aaron? What happened?" "There's a note. Someone knows I'm here." "I'll be there in 5 minutes," she said. When she arrived, she didn't knock. She slipped inside quietly, eyes scanning the room. Who could have left it? I shook my head. No idea. But someone wants me gone. She took the note from my hand, reading it slowly. This handwriting! I've seen it before. The staff board in the back office. The guest lists. What does that mean? It means whoever sent this isn't just a guest. The light flickered. Outside, the wind carried the sound of crashing waves. I whispered, I'm starting to think I shouldn't have come. Maya turned to me. You had to. They're hiding something. I've heard people asking about your family. Guests from the top suites asking the staff where room 112 is. That's my parents' room, her voice dropped. Exactly. Come with me. We slipped through the quiet hallways, the scent of sea and cleaning spray hanging in the air. The resort felt different at night, like it had secrets under every polished surface. In the service corridor, we stopped. I heard a familiar voice from around the corner. My father. He was on the phone. His tone sharp, low, unlike the calm man I grew up with. He wasn't supposed to find out, he said. No, we'll handle it. Just make sure no one talks to him. My knees weakened. Maya grabbed my hand, steadying me. Her touch was warm, grounding. He's talking about you, she whispered. I could barely breathe. What is he hiding? I don't know, but if you confront him now, they'll shut you out again. The words cut deep because I knew she was right. She looked at me, her face soft but determined. Let's find proof. Then you can ask him everything. I nodded. Where do we start? Maya's gaze flicked toward the elevator. Bella's luggage. I saw her carrying 2 suitcases, but only one is in her room. We snuck inside the suite while my parents were still outside by the pool. The room smelled of coconut lotion and perfume. I felt sick seeing how comfortable they all looked while my chest was burning with betrayal. Maya knelt by the bed and pulled out the second suitcase. The zipper stuck halfway. I helped her tug it open. Inside were folded dresses, a resort staff ID tag, and a small black phone. Maya looked at me. That's not hers. The screen lit up. A notification flashed across it. New message received. Did he find out? The phone buzzed in my hand. I didn't even breathe. Maya leaned closer. Open the gallery. I hesitated, my thumb shaking as I unlocked the screen. The first photo hit me like a punch. Bella, smiling in a silk dress. My parents beside her. Behind them, a luxury poolside I'd never seen before. Next swipe, another resort. Another dinner. Another night out. My sister glowing, my parents proud. And next to her, a man in his 50s, hand resting a little too comfortably on her waist. Who is that? I asked, my voice barely holding. Maya's face drained of color. That's Mr. Raiden. The owner of this place? She nodded slowly. He doesn't take photos with guests. Ever. I felt heat rising under my skin. So this is why she's here. Not because we're family. Because he invited her, Maya bit her lip. Your parents must know. I stared at the screen again. Photo after photo. Luxury dinners, private beaches, his arm always close to her. It made my stomach turn. They're protecting her. That's why they lied about the room, about the money. They're covering her scandal. Maya touched my shoulder gently. Aaron, maybe we should... No, I'm done waiting. The night air outside was cold. I found Bella near the bar, laughing with 2 staff members like nothing mattered. She turned when she saw me, her smile fading into something sharper. Why did you take my phone? She snapped. Maybe because I wanted to see who you really are. I held up the device. You with him? With our parents. Her expression didn't even flicker. So what? You think you know everything now? I know enough. You're sleeping your way into their approval, and they're letting you. Her eyes filled with tears, but the sound that came from her was a laugh. Soft. Bitter. You've always hated that they loved me more. Now you finally found an excuse to call me names. That's not true, isn't it? You can't stand that I have what you don't, their attention. His interest. I stepped closer. You're not proud. You're trapped. You just don't see it. She looked at me for a long time, her face trembling. You're pathetic, Aaron. Always have been. The words hit deeper than they should have. Maybe because part of me believed them. Maya appeared behind me, her voice firm. That's enough, Bella. Bella's jaw tightened. Stay out of this, maid. Maya didn't move. You don't scare me. For a moment, everything froze. The sound of the ocean, the music, even my breath. Then a shadow stretched across the floor behind us. A tall man stepped forward, suit immaculate, presence commanding. Mr. Raiden. His gaze landed on the phone in my hand, then on me. You must be Aaron, my throat went dry. And you must be the man ruining my family, he smiled faintly. We need to talk, privately, Maya whispered. Don't go with him, but I already knew I would, because if he held the truth about my family, I had to face it, even if it destroyed me. The elevator doors opened to the top floor. The air felt heavier there, colder. Mr. Raiden stood by the window, city lights glittering behind him. Aaron, he said smoothly. Thank you for coming. I didn't respond. My pulse was too loud in my ears. He gestured to the couch. Sit, you look tense. I'm fine, he smiled, slow and deliberate. You look just like your father when he used to work for me. Same stubborn eyes. The words hit me hard. You knew my father? I know many people, especially the ones who owe me. Something in his voice made my stomach twist. What do you want from me? He walked closer, hands in his pockets. Nothing. I just want to help you understand your place in all this. My place? Bella is special to me, he said softly. She deserves a life that isn't weighed down by family drama. I clenched my fists. She's my sister, he nodded. Then protect her. By walking away. The silence between us burned. You think you can buy her? Or us, he tilted his head. I don't buy people. I offer them choices. Bella chose comfort. You chose resentment. Who do you think is happier? My voice cracked. She doesn't need your comfort. She needs her family. He stepped closer until I could smell his cologne, sharp and cold. Families ruin each other more often than they save. You'd be wise to leave before that happens. I stared at him, my whole body shaking. You're manipulating her, he smiled again. You're young. You still believe in villains and heroes. I assure you, I'm neither. I took a step back. Then what are you? His eyes darkened. Someone who always gets what he wants. That was enough. I turned and left before I said something I couldn't take back. The moment the elevator doors closed, my hands started trembling. I couldn't tell if it was rage or fear. When I reached the lobby, Maya was waiting near the entrance, arms crossed, worry written all over her face. What did he say? She asked softly. He told me to walk away. To let her live her life. Her eyes filled with anger. He threatened you, didn't he? I shook my head. He didn't have to. The way he looked at me said enough. Maya stepped closer, her hand brushing my arm. The touch was light but grounding. You're not alone in this, she whispered. Something inside me cracked. All the anger, all the confusion, it melted into a single ache in my chest. Why do you care? I asked. You barely know me. Her eyes flickered. Because I know what it's like to be lied to by someone like him. Her voice trembled just enough to make me look up. What do you mean? I asked. She looked away, her throat tightening. Aaron, I used to work for Raiden. The world seemed to stop. That's how I know Bella, she said, her voice breaking. I stared at her, speechless, the night suddenly colder than before. We sat by the pool long after midnight. The waves were just a whisper beyond the palm trees. Maya's hands trembled as she stared at the ground. I didn't want to tell you like this, she said quietly. Then why now? I asked. Why follow me into this mess? She took a deep breath. Because you deserve the truth. And so does Bella. Her voice cracked on my sister's name. I leaned forward. What truth? She hesitated, then looked me straight in the eyes. I used to work for Raiden. Not just as a photographer. I was his assistant. I froze. You worked for him? She nodded. For almost a year. Until I found out what he was really doing. The world seemed to tilt. What was he doing? Her lips trembled before she spoke. He uses his resort to recruit models. Promises them exposure, money, contracts. But it's a trap. He takes their photos, manipulates them, then sells their images to investors overseas. I couldn't breathe. Bella isn't the first, she said softly. She's just the latest. My mind raced back to the photos on that second phone. Bella smiling in designer clothes. Those lavish rooms, the expensive jewelry. He groomed her, I whispered. Maya's eyes glistened. Your parents know. That's why they came here. Not to relax, to keep her quiet. Raiden must have offered them something. Money, maybe. I heard him say once, everyone has a price. My stomach turned. My parents took his side? She nodded. They sold silence. and I think they regret it, but they're trapped. I looked away, my chest tightening. They always said they were doing what's best for her. Maybe this is what they meant. Maya reached out, touching my hand lightly. You can't blame yourself. You didn't know. I looked at her, my voice low. But you did. And you stayed. Her eyes filled with guilt. I was scared. I tried to expose him once.
He threatened me, said he'd ruin my family.
So I ran. But I couldn't walk away completely. I started collecting evidence, waiting for a chance to bring him down. Her voice trembled. I couldn't save the others. Maybe we can save her. The sincerity in her eyes broke something inside me. I'll help you, I said. Whatever it takes. She looked at me for a long time, her expression softening. You're not like them. That's why I told you. The air between us grew still. There was something unspoken there. Something fragile and dangerous. Then I heard it. A soft gasp from behind the palm trees. I turned. A figure stood in the shadows, her resort dress catching the faint light. Bella. Her eyes were wide, her lips trembling. Bella, wait, I said, standing, but she was already running, barefoot across the sand. Toward the dark stretch of beach, Maya, I said, panic rising. She heard everything. Maya's voice was barely a whisper. Then we're out of time. The rain hit like needles as I ran across the wet sand, the wind tearing through my jacket. The sky cracked open, lightning flashing against the dark sea. Bella! I shouted into the storm. My voice was swallowed by the waves. Then I saw her, kneeling near the cliffs, soaked, her hair plastered to her face. She looked small, broken. I slowed down, my shoes sinking into the mud. Bella, come back! You'll slip, she turned toward me, eyes red and swollen. Why did you follow me? Because you ran, I said. Because I need to understand. She shook her head. You don't. You were always the good one, the safe one. You wouldn't survive what I did. Her voice cracked and I stepped closer. Try me. She covered her face with her hands, sobbing. I didn't choose him, Raiden. He found me when I was lost. I thought he cared. I felt the words slice through me. He used you, she nodded slowly. Our parents knew. They said it was a mistake, but then the money came. The mortgage was paid. Dad's job was saved. They said it was for the family. I could barely breathe. They sold your silence. Her shoulders shook. They said it was the only way. That if I stayed quiet, everything would be fine. Nothing about this is fine, I said, my voice trembling. You're my sister. You should have come to me. She looked up at me, her eyes full of regret. I was ashamed. And you? You always looked at me like I was worth saving. I didn't want you to see how far I'd fallen. I took her hand, cold and shaking. You're not too far gone. We can fix this, together. Headlights cut through the rain. A black car stopped a few feet away, tires skidding in the mud. Raiden stepped out, his coat whipping in the wind. His voice was calm, too calm. You said you'd keep quiet, Bella. Bella flinched, pulling her hand from mine. I stepped between them. It's over, Raiden, he smirked. You have no idea who you're dealing with. I don't need to. I just need her safe. He grabbed Bella's arm. You're coming with me. Let her go, I said. My heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. Then a flash of light. Maya appeared behind him, her phone raised. He's recording you, Raiden. Every word. He turned sharply. Who the hell are you? Someone who stopped being afraid of you, she said. Raiden yanked Bella harder. She screamed, trying to pull away. I lunged forward. The mud gave way under my shoes. Maya shouted something, but the wind tore her voice apart. Raiden stumbled, losing his grip. I caught Bella's arm just as her foot slid toward the edge. The ground cracked beneath us. Hold on, I shouted. Her hand slipped in mine, slick with rain. Aaron, she cried. Then the earth shifted. The sound of the cliff breaking filled my ears. A scream cut through the storm. The waves roared beneath the cliff. My shoes were stuck in mud. My lungs burned. Bella, I screamed, my voice almost swallowed by the storm. She was barely visible, clinging to a jagged rock as the water crashed over her. The rain stung my eyes. My chest ached. Maya! I shouted, panic rising. She appeared in seconds, phone in hand, dialing security. Her jacket was soaked, hair plastered to her face. Hold on, Aaron, they're coming! I watched, powerless, as Bella struggled against the waves. Her hand slipped. My stomach lurched. Almost there! Maya shouted, voice steady but urgent. Moments later, a team arrived, ropes and lights in hand. Bella was pulled from the water. She coughed, shivering, bruises forming along her arms and legs. Her hair was matted to her face. "Bella!" I ran forward, wrapping my jacket around her shoulders. Her small frame trembled in my arms. "Don't leave me," she whispered, teeth chattering. "You're alive. That's all that matters," I said, holding her tighter. Raiden's car screeched down the driveway, disappearing into the night. My anger burned hotter than the rain. By the time the police arrived, the resort was chaos. Lights flashing, officers shouting, cameras clicking. Reporters crowded the gates. My parents were confronted immediately. "Why didn't you tell anyone?" A reporter yelled at my mother. "Why did you accept his money?" Someone demanded of my father. I stayed back, keeping my hand on Bella's back. She had her head tucked against my chest, quiet for the first time in years. At the hospital, the room smelled of antiseptic and something sterile. Bella lay in the bed wrapped in blankets. Her eyes were red but alert. I sat beside her, gripping her hand tightly. "I'm so sorry," I said. She looked at me, tears welling. "I just wanted to be seen. That's all. I thought if I did what everyone wanted, maybe someone would notice me." Her words broke me. "We were all broken differently," I whispered. She reached up, brushing my damp hair from my forehead. "Even you?" "Especially me," I said, voice low. For a long moment, we sat in silence, holding hands, feeling the weight of everything we had endured. Outside, the storm had passed, but the chaos of our lives was far from over. Maya stepped into the doorway, soaked and tired, but her eyes were calm. She glanced at us, then at the door. "My work here is done," she said softly. I frowned. "You're leaving?" She nodded. "There are others out there who need help." "I can't stay." Bella squeezed my hand. "Will we see her again?" I looked at Maya, at the steady resolve in her eyes. "I hope so," I whispered, though I knew this was the start of another kind of challenge. Maya gave a small smile, almost sad, and turned toward the exit. The resort was empty. Police tape fluttered in the gentle wind, waves washing footprints into the sand. The quiet felt strange, almost sacred after the chaos. I walked along the pier, boots squelching in the wet wood. The smell of salt and seaweed filled the air. And there she was, Maya, suitcase in hand, hair still damp from the storm a week ago. "You're leaving again?" I asked softly, my voice low, careful. She looked at me, her eyes shaded with tiredness and something else I didn't want to name. "Maybe, this time, for the right reason." I stepped closer, the sunlight glinting off her hair, warm and golden. "Then let me give you one to stay." She froze, her hand hovering near mine. I reached out and brushed my fingers over hers. The touch was light, but it carried everything I hadn't said these past weeks. The fear, the relief, the hope. Her eyes softened. "Aaron," I swallowed. "You don't have to go. Not if you don't want to." She looked at me for a long moment. Then, slowly, she let herself melt into a quiet, trembling hug. Her head rested against my shoulder, and I felt the weight of all the fear, the danger, and the heartbreak lift slightly. "You already did," she whispered, her voice muffled against my jacket. I closed my eyes, inhaling the scent of salt and rain-soaked sand. For the first time, it felt like the world had paused, like we could finally breathe. I felt her fingers slide into mine, warm and sure. The sun rose higher, catching the waves and throwing glitter across the water. I realized, for the first time in years, that I was exactly where I was meant to be. "I never thought peace could feel like this," I murmured. She pulled back slightly to look at me, water droplets glinting on her eyelashes. "It's not the end," she said softly, almost teasing. I smiled, the tension in my chest finally easing. "Then we face whatever comes next. Together." Her hand squeezed mine. Together. We stood there for a long moment, the ocean around us calm, the breeze gentle. Everything felt fragile and perfect. Then my phone buzzed in my pocket. I pulled it out, expecting a message from Bella, or maybe a routine alert. But the screen lit up with something chilling. Unknown number. "It's not over." I stared at it, the sunlight reflecting off the screen. Maya looked over my shoulder, her brow furrowing. "What is it?" I swallowed, feeling the familiar surge of adrenaline, but this time it wasn't fear. It was determination. Whatever it is, I said, tightening my grip on her hand, we face it. Together. The waves crashed softly, the wind carrying the smell of salt, peace, and a promise that we weren't running anymore.